When we talk about sitcom couples, most of them fall into extremes. They're either unrealistically perfect or hilariously dysfunctional in ways that are clearly exaggerated for laughs. But Georgie and Mandy's marriage and Georgie and Mandy's first marriage lands somewhere very different, and that's exactly why their marital woes feel so real to us. From the start, their relationship was built under pressure. It wasn't some slow-burn romance filled with grand gestures and ideal timing. It was messy, rushed, and complicated. They didn't get the luxury of easing into adulthood together. They were thrown into responsibility almost overnight. And when a relationship begins with that kind of urgency, it changes everything. You're not just learning how to love each other, you're learning how to survive together. That survival element is key. Georgie is still figuring out who he is. He wants to be taken seriously. He wants to prove that he's more than just Sheldon's older brother from Young Sheldon. He wants to be seen as capable, dependable, and grown. But wanting those things and actually being ready for them are two different realities. That gap between ambition and readiness creates tension that feels authentic. Mandy, meanwhile, is operating from a different life stage. She's older, more experienced, and in many ways more aware of what stability actually requires. That imbalance doesn't automatically doom their marriage, but it does create friction. When one partner is still discovering their identity and the other is craving security, misunderstandings are inevitable. And those misunderstandings don't feel scripted, they feel lived in. One of the most relatable aspects of their struggles is how small issues snowball. It's not usually some explosive betrayal or shocking twist that drives their conflict. It's everyday stress, money concerns, career uncertainty, feeling unappreciated, feeling misunderstood. These are the kinds of problems that don't make headlines, but they quietly wear people down. Financial pressure, especially, is handled in a grounded way. Georgie's desire to succeed often comes with risk. Mandy's desire for stability often comes with caution. Neither perspective is wrong. But when those perspectives clash, it exposes a deeper issue. They're motivated by different fears. Georgie fears failure and insignificance. Mandy fears instability and chaos. When fear drives reactions, conversations become defensive instead of productive. That's what makes their arguments hit so hard. You can see both sides. You understand why Georgie feels frustrated when he's doubted. You understand why Mandy feels anxious when plans seem shaky. There's no clear villain. It's two people who love each other but don't always know how to communicate what's really bothering them. And that communication gap is painfully realistic. In real marriages, conflict rarely starts with the real issue. It starts with tone, with timing, with a comment taken the wrong way after a long day. Georgie might hear criticism where Mandy intended concern. Mandy might hear irresponsibility where Georgie intended optimism. Those crossed wires feel familiar because we've all experienced them in some form. Another reason their marital woes resonate is the lack of romanticized gloss. This is in the heightened, eccentric world of the Big Bang Theory, where conflicts often circle back to clever banter and neatly tied resolutions. This spin-off leans into quieter discomfort. Sometimes scenes end without total resolution. Sometimes apologies feel incomplete. That emotional ambiguity mirrors real life, where problems don't magically reset by the next morning. There's also something deeply human about Georgie's insecurity. Growing up in Sheldon's shadow shaped him more than he admits. He spent years feeling underestimated. So when Mandy questions a decision, even gently, it can hit an old wound. Instead of responding calmly, he reacts from that buried insecurity. That's not villain behavior. That's emotional baggage. Mandy carries her own baggage too. She sacrificed parts of her previous life and had to rebuild around unexpected motherhood and a young partner still finding his footing. That kind of shift brings grief, even when it's wrapped in love. Her moments of sharpness or impatience don't come from a lack of care. They come from exhaustion. And exhaustion is rarely portrayed honestly in sitcom marriages. Here it is. What also makes their relationship feel real is that love doesn't automatically fix things. They clearly care about each other. There are tender moments, shared jokes, flashes of genuine partnership. But affection doesn't erase misalignment. The show isn't afraid to suggest that two good people can struggle simply because they're growing at different speeds. That theme, growth, is central. Georgie is evolving. Mandy is evolving. But they're not always evolving in sync. That creates a subtle tension that feels authentic. Real couples don't just fall in love once. They have to continually rediscover each other as circumstances change. And let's not ignore the external pressure. Family dynamics play a role. Expectations from others, comparisons, unsolicited advice, those factors influence how couples see themselves. Georgie's past and Mandy's adjustments to the Cooper family add layers that feel grounded. Marriage doesn't happen in isolation. It's shaped by history. Ultimately, Georgie and Mandy's marital woes feel real because they're rooted in ordinary struggles rather than dramatic spectacle. It's pride clashing with practicality. It's fear disguising itself as anger. It's love complicated by timing.